Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident podcast. I am your host, Jen Washington. This is a weekly chat about socially conscious topics impacting the culture. I would like to extend my gratitude in you listening to this podcast. It means everything to me, and I hope it is clear that this subject matter is so important to me. I care about our people, our future, and making a positive change in this nation.
Welcome, guys, to another episode of Woke by Accident podcast. Today, I would like to talk about Senator Kamala Harris, who officially accepted the nomination for vice president for the 2020 election at the DNC 2020. How exciting was that? We also are going to talk about Brianna Taylor. We had several mentions of Brianna Taylor during the DNC 2020. So I thought that was pretty dope that our leaders felt it was important to discuss the Brianna Taylor case at the DNC 2020. We have less than 74 days to the 2020 election, guys. We also are going to talk about Amazon. They had some particular merchandise on the website, and Twitter said, no, we're not having it. And they took that down. So let's talk about that. And we also have some celebrities that are using their celebrity and popularity to spread the word about justice for Breonna Taylor. That is noteworthy. I do want to share that information. So we will definitely talk about those topics. So, according to CNN, new polls suggest that former Vice President Joe Biden has made a successful pick with Senator Kamala Harris as the vice president for the 2020 election. Harris right now is one of the most popular active politicians in the country. The most recent NBC News Wall Street Journal poll finds that 39% have a positive rating of her compared to a 35% who have a negative view. According to Forbes, in the hours after Biden announced Harris as his running mate, Act Blue, the Democrats' main fundraising platform, reported more than 10.8 million in donations as the New York Times first reported. But campaign staff reported that Tuesday was its biggest fundraising day to date. While Senator Harris gained popularity with the Biden campaign, it did not come without the expected backlash and personal opposition. You have some incredibly nasty remarks from conservative political commentator Rush Limbaugh, of who I will not give too much energy, but it does spark the thought. How convenient is it to contribute a woman's success all to the influence of a man? She couldn't possibly be responsible for overcoming the odds and breaking through glass ceilings without the particular influence of a particular man. That is the argument. Where is the outrage? Where are all the feminist outrage for all these misogynistic comments that are being made about Senator Kamala Harris? Then you have other kinds of opposition. Amazon has removed a clothing line emblazoned with an offensive slogan referring to Kamala Harris from its website after complaints from Twitter users who branded it unacceptable. The removal of the items followed pressure from Twitter users who urged people to complain to the retail giant. The 2020 Democratic Convention started August 17th. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the format was substantially different than previous conventions, with the duration of each day of the convention being significantly shorter, and with the majority of the convention being held remotely from many venues across the country. So there were several speakers, and I'm not going to touch on everything that occurred, but I thought it was quite significant how it opened with a long list of prominent Republican politicians who declared their anti-Trump support and support towards Biden. That spoke volumes. In Senator Kamala Harris's speech, where she accepted the party's nomination for vice president for the 2020 election. She gave a great big shout out to her sorority Alpha Kappa Alpha, the oldest black sorority in the country, and to her brothers and sisters of historically black colleges and university. How cool was that? Now, there are over 100 historically black colleges in the U.S. Now, this potentially could give the Biden Harris ticket a big advantage if they can energize these young voters. Harris graduated from Howard University, a historically black college in Washington, D.C. Joe Biden, the Democratic nominee for president, already launched a historically black college initiative at the start of 2020, which includes a $70 billion program in which additional funding to historically black universities and free tuition for historically black colleges with a 4-year degree as a part of his Build Back Better plan. Say her name, Brianna Taylor. Many did just that, even at the Democratic National Convention 2020. There were several mentions of Brianna Taylor, more notably from Michelle Obama, Senator Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton, former Democratic presidential candidate, and Joe Biden even made reference to systemic racism. And they should have mentioned it. If they want our vote, they need to care about what we care about. We still need justice for Brianna Taylor. So you best believe it should be discussed at the table with our leaders for the 2020 presidential election. Louisville, Kentucky protesters are calling for Churchill Downs not to run the 2020 Kentucky Derby. They want it canceled as a statement against the Louisville police officers who fatally shot Brianna Taylor, an unarmed black woman who was killed during a narcotics investigation at her apartment in March. The response from the Churchill Downs president, Kevin Flannery, he said that he knows the city is going through a lot right now, and the company intends to start a dialogue with residents about equality for everyone, justice for everyone. However, the Kentucky Derby will go on as rescheduled for September 5th. As of August 21st, today marks 100 days since the Kentucky Attorney General took on the Brianna Taylor case, and there is still no final report. U.S. Senate candidate Amy McGrath is calling for Attorney General Daniel Cameron to release findings or hand it over to an independent counsel who can ensure a fair and timely process. In other Brianna Taylor news, I found these two stories to be interesting. One, singer Demi Lovato asked fans to celebrate her birthday this past Thursday by joining her and calling for justice for Brianna Taylor. She made a tweet, "I'm so lucky to be here today and have made it to my 28th birthday. Join me in taking a stand for Brianna Taylor, hashtag Black Lives Matter." And she shared a link for a campaign on the website Propeller. Now you may be saying, what is Propeller? Well, Propeller was founded in 2016. It is a technology platform that connects artists with their fans in support of an important cause. The website that Demi Lovato has earmarked for Brianna Taylor is propeller.la/Demi B-Day. So you can go out there and sign a petition, send an email, share the campaign, or make a donation, and when it will go toward the efforts for Brianna Taylor. Houston-based rapper Tobe Nwigwe has a song called I Need You To. It's been out since July, but I've been seeing it all over social media and on Instagram. It's pretty dope. The piece calls for the arrest of the killers of Brianna Taylor and Elijah McClain. So check that out when you get a chance. There also is a new song by Master P called Say Her Name that mentions Breonna Taylor. So I will give you all things Breonna Taylor. We still need justice. Um, let's be informed. We have less than 74 days to our 2020 presidential election. Let's get informed. All right.
So at this time, we're going to go ahead and conclude this episode. I would again like to thank you for listening to Woke by Accident, and we would also like to invite you to follow us on our social media. On Instagram, it is Woke by Accident Podcast, and on Twitter, it is Woke by. Again, we are available on all the platforms for podcasts. Please subscribe, rate, share, like, tell a friend. We do appreciate the feedback and the support. And every time you listen, we greatly appreciate it. Thanks again and take care.